In the small dusty village of Orba, where red sand covered every path and hunger was a daily visitor, lived a young woman named Shalom. At just 21, her eyes carried the weight of 100 lifetimes. Since her mother's death 6 years ago, peace had become a stranger to her. Her father, Mr. Samuel, once a gentle farmer, had turned into a bitter drunk. To make matters worse, he married Mrs. Blessing, a woman whose hatred for Shalom burned deeply. They first had to cook, fetch firewood, sweep the compound, and toil on the farm from dawn till dusk, all without food. The villagers pitied her, but no one dared to challenge Mr. Samuel's madness. Then came David, a young man from the city. His clothes were worn, his shoes torn, but his eyes were sharp and full of life. For 5 months, he labored on Mr. Samuel's farm, clearing bushes, planting cassava, and carrying heavy loads. Yet, every time he asked for his pay, Mr. Samuel would brush him off with empty promises. Next week, tomorrow, when I sell something, but the payment never came. One scorching afternoon, David, exhausted and frustrated, confronted Mr. Samuel. Sir, please, I need my money today. Mr. Samuel scratched his head, his gaze falling on Shalom, who was wearily sweeping the compound. With a very wicked laugh, he said, You want money? Take that girl instead. Confused, David asked, Take who? My daughter, of course. Mr. Samuel sneered. She's useless here. Let her go with you to the city. That's your payment. Shalom's heart shattered. Dropping her broom, she pleaded with her father, Daddy, please, no. Shut up, he barked. You should be grateful someone wants you. Mrs. Blessing, arms folded, smirked. Good. One less mouth to feed. On her knees, Shalom begged and cried, but no one paid her any mind. David looked at her, broken, yet beautiful in a way that went beyond looks. There was something in her spirit that touched him. She's beautiful, he muttered under his breath. What did you say? Mr. Samuel snapped. I'll take her, David answered firmly. Just like that, Shalom's life took a sudden turn. With tears streaming down her face, she packed her few clothes into a black plastic bag. No hugs, no prayers. Her little half-brother, Michael, quietly cried as he waved goodbye from behind the house. Shalom followed David towards the unknown city. The journey was long and tiring. As the bus rode past towns, trees, and dusty roads, Shalom sat by the window, staring blankly outside. Her heart was a storm of fear and hope. Leaving behind the only home she knew, even if it was a place of suffering, silently she prayed, Lord, please let this man be kind. I just want peace. I am tired. David stayed mostly silent, his eyes fixed ahead, occasionally glancing at her with a sigh. She looked so fragile, burdened by too much pain for someone so young. At last, they reached the bustling city. Tall buildings, bright lights, fast walking people. and a noise that overwhelmed Shalom. She clutched her bag tightly, trying to mask her confusion. She had never seen a city before. They boarded a small tricycle that took them to a quiet street. David paid the driver and led her through a path lined with flowers until they stopped in front of a large black gate. He knocked, and when the gate slowly opened, Shalom's mouth fell open in awe. Inside was a wide, spotless compound. The main house gleamed white, like something out of a film. Flowers were arranged neatly along the walkway, and a small fountain sparkled in the corner. Passing the ground house, they arrived at a modest but tidy building behind it, the boys' quarters. It had one bedroom, a sitting room, a small kitchen, and a bathroom. "This is where I live," David said with a smile. He explained that he had just secured a job as a security guard and that the kind woman who owned the house allowed him to stay here for free as long as he kept the compound safe. Shalom looked around, surprised. "Really?" she asked. "Yes," he nodded. "She lives in the main house with her only son. She's been good to me." Though the place was simple, to Shalom, it felt like a palace. A roof without leaks, a door that locked, and a bed with clean sheets. It was far better than the kitchen mat she used to sleep on back home. She smiled faintly, a spark of peace flickering inside her. "If this is God's plan for me, then so be it," she whispered. David noticed her quiet resolve. "Are you okay with this?" She nodded. "Yes, I feel peace, something I haven't felt in a long time." 2 days later, Shalom awoke to the delicious aroma wafting from the kitchen. The morning sunlight filtered softly through the window, wrapping the room in a warmth. She sat up, stretched, and for the first time in years, realized she had slept without fear. No shouting, no beatings, just calm. She found David in the kitchen, cooking. "Good morning," she greeted shyly. He turned with a smile. "Morning, Shalom. I made breakfast. Hope you slept well." She smiled. "Yes," like a baby. They both chuckled lightly. After breakfast, David told her, "Get dressed. I want you to meet someone." "Who?" she asked curiously. "You'll see. Just wear something simple and neat." She changed into a soft gown David had bought for her, brushed her hair, and stepped out, her heart pounding with nerves. They walked to the main house, and when they reached the door, it opened to reveal an elegant woman in her late 50s. Her kind eyes and calm presence put Shalom at ease. "Good morning, Ma," David greeted. "Morning, David. And who is this beautiful young lady?" "This is Shalom, my wife," David replied. Mrs. Thompson's warm eyes settled on Shalom. "So this is the wife you've spoken about. She's lovely. Come in, my dear." Shalom stepped inside carefully, wide-eyed at the sparkling, elegant living room. Everything looked expensive and grand. Mrs. Thompson gently took her hand. "You are welcome, Shalom. I like you already. You have a sweet spirit. I'm glad David brought you here." Blushing, Shalom murmured, "Thank you, ma. You can call me Mrs. Thompson. Feel free here, okay? This house is big enough for peace. If you need anything, let me know." "Okay, ma," Shalom replied softly. After a short, pleasant chat, Shalom and David returned to their little house behind the mansion. But in her heart, Shalom knew her life was changing for the better. That evening, after tidying up the small kitchen and setting the room in order, Shalom sat quietly at the edge of the bed, lost in thought. David was on the floor nearby, fixing a loose wardrobe handle. "David," she called softly. "Yes," he replied, looking up. She sighed, her fingers nervously twisting in her lap. "Can I tell you something?" "Of course," he said. She took a deep breath. "When my father told me to follow you to the city, I felt worthless, like I was being discarded, like no one cared if I lived or died." David gently sat beside her and took her hand. "Shalom, I would never hurt you. That's not the kind of man I am or ever want to be." He paused, then smiled faintly. "You know, I actually liked you from the very first day I saw you at the farm." Shalom blinked in surprise. "I wanted to speak to your father, but I was scared. Scared he would insult me or chase me away because I had nothing to offer." He let out a soft laugh. "But that day, when he said I could take you instead of my pay, I was shocked. And yet, deep inside, I was happy. It felt like fate had opened a door." Shalom lowered her eyes. "David, I don't love you yet." He quickly nodded. "I know, and I'm not rushing you." She looked at him and smiled faintly. "But I like how you treat me, like I'm somebody, like I matter, like I'm a queen." His smile widened. "That's because you are, Shalom. You are a queen. You've just been hidden in the wrong palace all along." A soft laugh escaped her lips as she wiped another tear. For the first time, she felt truly seen. And though love hadn't blossomed yet, something beautiful, peace, trust, and respect had begun to grow between them. A month passed, and life started to look brighter for Shalom. Every day, she cooked new meals in the small quarters, jotting down recipes in a little notebook David had given her. Her confidence grew with each passing day. One sunny afternoon, as she helped Mrs. Thompson carry groceries into the house, the woman called her gently. "Shalom, come and sit with me for a moment." Shalom quickly wiped her hands and sat down beside her. Mrs. Thompson smiled warmly. "You know, David told me something sweet about you." Shalom looked at her, puzzled but curious. "Ma?" "He said you're an excellent cook." "And I agree. I've been watching you. You are humble, hardworking, and you have a good heart." Shalom blushed. "Thank you, ma." Mrs. Thompson continued. "My cook recently moved abroad with her family, and I now need someone trustworthy to take her place. I've been observing you, and I believe you are the right person for the job." Shalom's eyes widened in shock, tears welling up. "Ah, ma, thank you so much. God will bless you. I don't even know what to say." Mrs. Thompson patted her hand gently. "You deserve it, my dear. You are a good girl." Still shaking with joy, Shalom quickly wiped her tears. "Ma, Can I tell you something? Of course, my child. I've been praying for a way to earn money, not just for clothes or things like that, but because I want to go back to school. I want to attend university. Mrs. Thompson's face lit up. You want to go to university? Yes, ma. I had to stop after secondary school because of family problems, but I love learning. I dream of furthering my education. Mrs. Thompson pulled her into a warm hug. My child, I love education. I admire girls who dream big. That's a beautiful ambition, and I am proud of you. Shalom's heart swelled with happiness. Thank you, ma. Thank you so much. Later that day, after finishing her chores, Shalom rushed back to the quarters, her slippers slapping against the ground as she ran. David! David! She called out, breathless but grinning. He came out, surprised. What is it? Why are you shouting like that? She beamed. David, you won't believe it. Mrs. Thompson just asked me to be her new cook. David's eyes widened. Wait, seriously? Yes. And she said she'll be paying me monthly. I also told her about my dream of going to university, and she was so supportive. David pulled her into a big hug. That's my wife, my world class wife. Shalom laughed, blushing. Ah, David, stop it. No, I mean it, he said, holding her hands. I brought you here to love you, to care for you, to protect you. I see the pain in your eyes even when you smile. I don't want to add to that pain. He paused, then looked deep into her eyes. I want you to be ready. I want you to love me first, to give yourself to me willingly, not out of pressure or obligation. He gently held her hand. I know you've never been with anyone before. I know you've carried shame and rejection for too long. That night your father gave you away. It broke something inside you. But Shalom, you are not nothing. You are everything. You are strong and special. And when your heart says yes, not because you feel forced, but because you truly want it, I will be ready to. Tears streamed down Shalom's cheeks. No one had ever spoken such words to her before. You really mean all this? She asked softly. I do, he said firmly. This marriage must be built on love, not fear. She wiped her tears, a soft smile playing on her lips. Thank you, David. You've changed my life. I thought all men were like my father, but you are different. David leaned over and kissed her forehead. Sleep well, my queen. Shalom lay back down, her heart at peace. For the first time, she felt truly safe in a man's presence, not just as a husband, but as a friend. Just 2 days into her new role as the cook, something unexpected happened. That morning, Shalom was busy in the kitchen preparing Mrs. Thompson's favorite vegetable soup. She had just finished slicing the ugu leaves when the door creaked open. Turning around, she saw a tall, handsome young man standing there, staring at her. It was Nelson, Mrs. Thompson's only son. He looked momentarily stunned, then flashed a smile. Damn, you are beautiful. Shalom froze, caught off guard. My mom told me about you, he continued, stepping inside. She said you are smart, humble, and beautiful. Honestly, I thought she was exaggerating, but now I see she wasn't. He leaned against the counter, eyeing her from head to toe. Wow. God must have taken his time creating you. Shalom felt uneasy. She lowered her gaze and focused on her cooking. Good afternoon, sir, she murmured politely, trying to ignore his words. Nelson chuckled. Come on, don't call me sir. I'm just a young guy, you know. Call me Nelson. She shook her head. No, sir, it wouldn't be proper. He smirked. You are so polite. I like that. She stayed silent, concentrating on her work. After a few minutes, Nelson left, still grinning. That evening, after finishing her chores, Shalom returned to the quarters. David was waiting outside, sitting on the wooden bench. Welcome, my queen, he greeted with a cheerful smile. How was work today? Shalom sat beside him, her face clouded with worry. David, something happened today. He turned to her quickly. What is it? Are you okay? Yes, yes, I'm fine, she assured him. But your boss's son, Nelson, he came into the kitchen. Okay, David said, watching her closely. Shalom's heart pounded as she listened to David's words. Nelson is not just Mrs. Thompson's son, David confessed, his voice low. He is my younger brother. And Mrs. Thompson, she's not my boss. She is my mother. Shalom's mouth fell open. David, what are you saying? You mean all this time? He nodded, shame clouding his face. Yes, I'm sorry, my love. I never meant to deceive you for this long. I had to be sure. I needed to find someone who loved me for who I am, not for my family's wealth. Shalom sank into a chair, too stunned to speak. The pieces clicked together in her mind, but it still felt unreal. You went too far, David, she finally whispered. You shouldn't have lied like that. I know, he said softly. You have every right to be angry. Please, forgive me. The room was still for a long moment. Then Shalom looked up at him, a small smile forming on her lips. Fine, I forgive you, but she pointed a playful finger at him. You owe me big time. David blinked. Big time? What do I owe you? She crossed her arms, her smile widening. A car and a mansion for lying to me. He threw his head back and laughed, the sound rich and full. That's nothing, my queen. Done. Your wish is my command. Shalom laughed, tears and joy mixing as she leapt into his arms. I love you, David. And I love you even more, Barrister Shalom to be, he murmured, holding her tight. Their kiss sealed it all. Not for wealth, not for status, but for love, trust, and the bond they had built through trials. The truth was out, and with it came freedom. News of David's real identity spread like wildfire. The so-called poor security guard was in fact a billionaire heir. When Shalom's father heard, he nearly choked on his palm wine. His hand trembled as he grabbed his phone and dialed her number. My daughter, please forgive me, he pleaded, his voice shaking. I was blind. I didn't know God had blessed you like this. Please, let your stepsister come and stay with you in the city. Things are hard here. Shalom's voice was calm but firm. With all due respect, sir, never. Shalom, please. I forgive you, she said sharply, but I want distance. I suffered too much in your house. If you ever need real help, call me, but don't call me for nonsense again. And take care of your miserable wife. She ended the call and looked up, her eyes shining. Thank you, Jesus, for bringing David into my life. As the days turned into years, Shalom's life transformed completely. The girl who once wiped tears in a tiny boy's quarters now walked proudly in her black coat across the grand graduation stage. She had become a qualified barrister, and the hall echoed with cheers. Among the loudest was David, standing tall and proud, shouting, "That's my wife! Come here, you beautiful big woman." After the ceremony, he wrapped her tightly in his arms, his eyes glistening. "I'm so proud of you, baby. You are mine forever." Shalom smiled through her tears. "Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for standing by me when no one else did. You are the best husband in the world." He kissed her forehead. "And you, my love, are my forever queen." One peaceful afternoon, David surprised her with a quiet drive. They cruised through a beautiful estate, and then he stopped in front of a massive white mansion with golden gates. Shalom blinked in confusion. "David, where are we?" He smiled warmly and pulled out a bunch of keys. "This, my queen, is your mansion." Her eyes widened. "David, stop joking." "I'm serious," he said, placing the keys in her hand. "I promised you a car and a mansion. Remember? Here they are." Shalom burst into laughter and tears at the same time, hugging him tightly. "God, you are so full of surprises." She suddenly stepped back, her face glowing. "I also have news." David raised a brow, still smiling. "What is it, my love?" She took a deep breath, her smile widening. "I went for a test last week. David, I'm 2 months pregnant." He stood frozen for a second, then let out a joyful shout. "Shalom, are you serious?" "Yes," she laughed, tears streaming down her cheeks. "We are going to have a baby." Without another word, he lifted her off the ground, pinning her around in pure happiness. "Thank you, God. I will spoil you and our baby forever." Then he knelt down and kissed her stomach gently. "My little one, Daddy loves you already." Shalom looked up to the sky, her heart overflowing. From rejection to royalty, from tears to triumph, she whispered with gratitude, "I finally found my peace." Thank you so much for watching to the end. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, welcome, and I'm so glad our paths crossed. Please watch our other videos, subscribe to our channel, turn on the bell icon so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever we release new videos. Please make sure to like our video and comment the country you're watching from. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.